So if you have a bit of a look down in here, that's very suboptimal. So the starboard tank has sprung a leak. It's a pinhole leak, so we're losing about 4 to 5 litres a day. So what I've got here now is this vacuum pump. Yeah. We usually get the engineers to do this, but we need to keep this out of the bilge. We've disconnected the bilge pump because the bilge pump has an auto float switch on it. So, and that level would activate the float switch. So the end result being, you guessed it, fuel going out into our beautiful marina. That would be horrific, to say the least. So the pump is disconnected, but what we're going to do is we're going to use a vacuum pump. I wouldn't advise using electrical pumps in this situation, especially if you're removing petrol. So if you find this much diesel in your bilge, or petrol, or more so petrol, go and talk to the local mechanic, local marine mechanic. They'll have a pump like this, and be able to come and pump out for you. Don't recommend doing this yourself. Diesel is pretty nasty stuff. Don't get it on your skin. It's really carcinogenic, so we really want to do that. So this is why we're using this vacuum system. So then we decanter this into this drum, we take that away. The saddest part about this is we've already pulled out about 50 litres of fuel, and that's a waste of fuel, and it can't be used again because it's contaminated with bilge water and bits of grit and stuff. So pulling diesel out of this bilge here, as you can see, I've got my nice little pointy hose there. I'm not touching the diesel. So this vacuum pump creates a vacuum inside it, and you can see I'm pumping it up here, so I can show that pump rates. So I've got some back pressure there, and just let that draw the diesel up out of the bilge. So then when that's filled, we're going to decanter that into a bigger drum.
So how much fuel is that's just been taken out of the tank?
Well, this is, what's this one? I think this is about 6 litres. Got about 5.5 litres there. It looks a lot more than 6 litres, but there's a vacuum core down the middle of that. So that there is about 6 litres. So yeah.
And there's still some to go.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to pull out about 12-15 litres of fuel today, unfortunately. When doing this sort of work, moving around with diesel on boats, do everything very slowly and deliberately. Getting diesel on your teak deck is very poor. It's a nightmare. So just do everything slowly, deliberately. Set yourself up. Plenty of rags on hand. Rags under everything that you're doing. So just as slow as you go. Quick pro tip, when you've decanted your vacuum pump into your drum, always close the drum off. It's pretty obvious, but you tend to get into a process and you forget to put the lid on. Someone just needs to climb down here, knock this onto the teak deck, and well, yeah, you're up for a bit of money. Back to using one of these vacuum pumps. When you take this little fitting out, take it out, tip it over so you get the drops of diesel going out, rag underneath, that's pretty obvious. Put it down somewhere where it's not going to affect any of the furnishings or the teak of the boat. Okay, so we've pumped out as much diesel as I'm happy to get out today. There's very little left in there though. I'm just about to decanter that into here. While I'm talking to you, I'll just close that off. So you'll see in the bilge there's a little bit of fuel in the bilge. There's also a couple of little rags or a rag at the back there, some paper towel that someone has put in there to try and block a hole or something. I'm going to leave that there because when we get it to Martha Cove, when we get it out of the water, we're going to obviously take the tanks out, but we'll also really give the bilge a really good wash out. But the thing is, when we wash all that out, obviously that soapy, diesely, mixy water stuff has to go into a contamination tank like this. We've got to put it into a waste tank and take it away, and it has to go into a fuel dump. So I'm not in the habit of just sloshing some soap in there, filling it full of a bit of water and then pumping it over the side.